Welcome to the latest episode of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app on Apple Podcasts. If you're Android, we recommend Spotify or the Five Reasons YouTube channel. Also, check out our new Discord server. It's not so new, but it's certainly better than Twitter. Check it out. $2.99 per month. Communicate with us, other Heat fans. This is the place, like I actually said today, like, what topic should we do next? And people respond. You're not going to get that from me on Twitter anymore, I promise. So check it out. It's our Discord server, off the floor, $2.99 per month. And you can find the description right here on the YouTube channel, also on the podcast feeds. Also, check out the great sponsors of the Five Reasons Sports Network, includes our friends over at Mobile C Arm and Staffing Services. You can find them at c-armandstaffing.com, 561-891-9620. That's 561-891-9620. Nelson and his team, what do? They bring the x-ray equipment and staffing to your doctor's office, to your hospital. So we know many of you, your nurses, your doctors, you just work in medical buildings. Okay, these are the people to reach out to. Mobile C Arm and Staffing Services. Big Heat fans, great people. They've come to our events. Again, it's 561-891-9620. All the information's there on the website, letter C, armandstaffing.com. And now, today's episode.
Down to Biscayne.
Yikes. Five on the floor, ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing, you can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars, wearing bubble frogs. Just like Butler said, you in trouble, y'all. Kept the floor playing, got it all band. Y'all seen the block, stop with one hand. And Pat, we trust, it's power, have the guts. We're here to bring the heat, y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to Five on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, and Alex Toledo, plus others from the Five Reasons Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to Five on the Floor. Here's today's floor plan. This is a momentous occasion. Brady Hawk is producing this episode. It's not Alex's fault. I promise you that. He did his best to be able to produce. He's here. You can follow him at Actually, no, you can't follow him at Alex Toledo. I've been trying to get that done for years. It never happened. You can follow him at Tropical Blanket. You can follow Brady Hawk at Brady Hawk 305. You can follow me if you want to at Ethan J. Skolnick and at Five Reasons Sports. Greg Sylvander is going to be off for the next few days unless something big happens, giving Greg some well-deserved time off. So you'll hear from some others here on the podcast. All right, we are continuing to do our Jimmy Butler build episode. So we did the 5 best moves of the Jimmy Butler build, and we did the 5 worst moves of the Jimmy Butler build. I was on with Alex and Greg for the first. I was on with Greg for the second. Today we bring Brady on for our third. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick a team. Okay, we're going to collectively try to pick a team. We're going to debate it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to nominate players who've played for the Heat in the Jimmy Butler era, which started in 2019. Okay, so this can be anybody who's played for them. It's the level they played for them at. Okay, so for instance, a certain point guard who they acquired on a 3-year contract, like you're not getting Toronto Kyle Lowry, you're getting the Kyle Lowry who played here for the Miami Heat. Okay, so put that into context. I didn't total it up, but I mean, the Heat have had some changes during this time. I know everybody thinks they've just run back the same team 5 straight years, but there have been a bunch of guys who've come through here. So we're going to take those players. We're going to try to put together the best possible 9-man rotation with maybe a couple of wild cards, of the available players. So we're going to go around. We're going to nominate. If anybody takes longer than 5 seconds to nominate a couple of these guys, they automatically lose a nomination spot. Okay. So Alex, go ahead.
I have a question. So
Yes.
this didn't come to my mind before, but when we're nominating guys here, are we doing the average of their entire tenure here, or are we doing like pick a season, like their best season here?
I considered that. I would say
I think it's peak.
I think peak. Yeah, I think peak.
Okay.
I think peak is fair. You don't necessarily need to name the year, but I think the best that we've seen of them. Now, if it's someone, for instance, like Dwayne Dedman, who actually peaked pretty high when he was the best player in a playoff game for the Miami Heat.
My first nomination.
Right. I think you should probably consider his other work. Okay. So it's peak, but it's also, he's throwing therapy guns. Like, that's probably not somebody who's going to be on the team, but I don't know. Some of you may consider him to be the best backup center they had. Also, when we put together this team, we have to debate sort of what kind of a team do you want, right? Like, and will Eric Spoelstra actually play the player? That's another issue. So we're going to get into that. All right. I'm going to go first. Jimmy Butler. Go, Brady.
I'll take Bam Adebayo.
Okay, go ahead. Now, Alex, got 5 seconds.
Controversial. I guess I'll take Goran.
All right, Goran Dragic. Okay, I'm going next. I will say Jaime Jaquez. Okay. I mean, we can nominate. We're going to nominate 20 players here. Okay, so we're at 4 right now. All right. Brady. No, actually, we'll nominate. Let's nominate 18. We'll nominate 18 because that way gives us 6 each. Brady, go ahead.
Okay, Tyler Hero.
Okay, go ahead, Alex.
I guess I'll go since I was thinking about using Tyler. I guess I'll go with Terry.
Terry Rozier. Okay, my turn. Duncan Robinson. Brady.
I will go PJ Tucker.
Okay. Alex.
Caleb Martin.
Okay. I will go with. I'm not nominating 7, the other 7. So that's not happening here. I promise you guys that. I will go with and I would love to nominate you, D, but I can't. I'm almost at 30 seconds. I will go with Max Strus. Okay, Brady, you're up.
I will go Jay Crowder.
Okay. Alex?
Since you won't do it, Ethan, I will. Kyle Lowry.
I won't do it. I promise you that. Andre Iguodala. We're now at. Let me just refresh here so you guys know as you look over your list. Butler, Adebayo, Dragic, Jaquez, Hero, Rozier, Duncan Robinson. That gets us to 7. Tucker 8. Martin 9. Strus 10. Crowder 11. Lowry 12. Iguodala 13. If we're gonna stick with that 18 rule, we got 5 spots left. So we are now. I went Iguodala. So Brady, you're up.
Kendrick Nunn.
Oh,
He has to be. Yeah, he has to be on there.
Peak.
He started. I mean,
It's fair.
if we're going with peak, yeah. If you're going with peak, there's a certain reason, yeah, to put it. There's definitely a reason to put him on there. So there you go. Okay,
Shout out
Alex,
to him,
you're up.
but I'm surprised you took Kendrick over the guy that I'm about to take and gave Vincent.
Yeah.
His peak was.
I figured that he would be on there somewhere. Okay, so now we've got 3 spots left. So you guys got to really think about these, okay? Because we're down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so somebody that's going to be left off here, right? I will go with as I debate this as we go. Kevin Love. 2 spots left.
Give me Kelly Olynyk.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it!
Yeah,
those
that's
are
the other one I
two
was
had in
considering.
mind. You guys took both of the ones I had in mind. Now I'm left.
Wait. No. There's still a couple of guys here, but I'm before you go. All right, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but I just want to look. I'm taking a sneak peek here at some of maybe who we have overlooked here.
Okay.
Somebody who's actually in the finals right now. There's somebody who's in the finals. Don't name it. Don't name a name. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also let's see. There's somebody who started a lot of games for the Heat this year.
I just thought of a good one.
And it's still an option to be on the team next year. There's also a guy who gave them some great defensive minutes before his knee exploded again.
Mm-hmm.
There's the guy they drafted instead of Tyrese Maxey. We discussed that yesterday.
And the guy they drafted instead of Devin Booker.
Oh, that's true, actually. Oh, sorry. That's right. Well, he said it was his team after the first game of the season of 2019. There's also KZ Okpala. I don't think he's on the list, but I think Pat hoped he would.
He's not on the list.
Bielisa?
Oh, man.
Bielitsa, Yurtsevid is an option there for anybody who wants him. And then this past year, and there's also a guy who was drafted in the first round. So this is where it gets a little. It's dicey because there are 3 guys I could see as an option here, but I don't honestly think that we have any bad choices in the first 17. Like I don't know that necessarily any of these guys for what they've done so far would go ahead of that group. There's also a guy who was briefly banned from the NBA and made his way back. Probably could help from a spacing perspective.
I guess, and thank you for all that stalling, so I could really think of an answer. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I know. I tried.
It was
You only
amazing.
get
Honestly, I'm just gonna say Derek. I'm gonna say Derek just to give him some love since he's in the finals right now. You know, that was
okay.
Bam's boy. And he was actually solid when he was here too. Not to say that like I'm taking him over just like he was straight up better than Haywood or anything like that. It's nothing like that. I'm just, you know, shouting out Derek for being a fun player to watch too. Like with the Heat, it feels like they never really have like these random role players who are just super bouncy and athletic like that. Cool guy. So yeah, let's just throw Derek in there.
All right, so Derek, cool guy, gets the 18 spot. Here's some of whom did not make the team. Nikola Jovic. Feel like we may regret that one
Oh
later
man.
on.
Yeah, I might want to take back my pick.
I mean, I said a guy they drafted in the first round, but they always said DJJ
You
was
know,
like getting a first round pick, so I guess
I
that
actually
counts.
thought you were like hinting at Precious there for some reason.
Well, I mentioned him too. I mean, there was the option with Maxey, but it's okay. I mean, look, we'll have Jovic working down at the G League. That's fine. He'll be going back and forth to Sioux Falls. So
Jovic
here
might
were
have
the
to
other
be in
guys
there. I
that
don't
were.
know.
Well, look, we're at 18. So here were the other options.
Okay.
Jovic, DJJ, you picked Highsmith, Myers Leonard, Josh Richardson, Cody Zeller, Dwayne Dedman, Precious Achua. I'm trying to see who else got significant minutes. I don't really think we missed anyone of note. I mean, Thomas Bryant, Delon Wright,
Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley, Mo Harkless. That didn't last
Ariza?
very long. That didn't go very well. Ariza, I mentioned Oladipo. No one bit on that one.
Peak
Again,
though, he did have that big playoff game. Like
he did. We probably
We're
have too
talking
many
peak
guards.
for who was
Drew
last.
Smith.
It's Depot or Nico for sure.
Right, but we're not going to pick more than 18. I'm just looking back at the previous one. Kyle Guy, that was the Mario Chalmers never actually got in a game,
He's
and
part of
I
it.
mentioned Yurtsevin, Nick Stauskas, Markieff Morris. I mean, he did get Jokic. That was that situation. He certainly had a memorable run. I'm looking at the 2021 season. Chris Silva, of course, I mentioned UD before. You guys mentioned Bielitsa, Ariza, and
Michael
then the
Mulder.
previous year. And the Michael Mulder era, and then the 1920, which was the first year, Solomon Hill, of course, great podcast guest. Dion Waiters, you really could have. I mean, I don't know that there was much of a peak there that year. I know, but there wasn't a peak. I mean, we kind of screwed it up with the questions we asked at that training camp in West Palm. And that's pretty much it. All right, so here is our list. You ready, guys? We're going to have to put together a 9-man rotation from this group with a couple of injury subs because we know that for the Heat, they never have everybody available. So it's Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Jay Crowder, Kyle Lowry, Andre Iguodala, Kendrick. I'm picking none over Lowry. Kendrick Nunn, Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love, Kelly Olynyk, Derek Jones Jr. Those are our 18.
I feel bad.
All right, now we're
not doing take backs then. I mean, I just feel bad that
no
Nico
take
is
backs.
not here instead of Derek.
Nico's getting seasoning in the G League. He's putting on additional weight, learning how to play all 5 positions. He'll be back next year. All right, I have a feeling if he's not traded, he'll be a big part. That's going to be the Nico Jovic build anyway. All right, do want to tell you about a couple great sponsors as Alex and Brady are going through the options here. Includes our friends over at Better Edge. Use the code 5RSN. You get $20 to play. Here's the cool thing about Better Edge. There's no VIG, which means you're not just giving the money to the house for nothing. Also, you can find the line that you want. Other cool thing about Better Edge is we run our contests there. So you can check it out at betteredge.com. Use the code 5RSN. But for the contest, you don't even need to do that. We're going to provide a link. We're doing a full NBA Finals contest. All 3 of us are going to be in that. It's free. You give your phone number, you sign up. There are 10 questions that have been posed. I actually did the whole thing. So, I mean, blame me for if you don't like the questions. But betteredge.com, Mavericks, Boston. We got to give you guys a reason to watch this thing, okay? Because we know that you don't want to. Also want to mention Prize Picks. Use the code 5 there. This is legal, again, in the state of Florida. Yes, legal, fully legal. Everybody keeps asking me. Set your lineup. You can play up to 4 players. It's basically a power play. You can play them throughout different sports. PrizePicks.com. Use that code FIVE at prizepicks.com. Again, the code is FIVE. Get your initial deposit matched up to $100. All right. So let's start. Now we start to debate. And here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to mention a name and you're going to say yes. If it's yes for sure, and we get 3 yeses, automatically on the board. Okay? Yes, for sure. If you're like, I want to wait down later in the list, we will table it. If we get 2 no's on somebody, off the list. Okay? I'm not going to go in the order we did it because if we do that, it's going to be 9, yes, 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 or something along those lines. I'm going to mix it around. Okay? So you got to think maybe I would rather have somebody else. All right. But let's start with this one. Jimmy Butler.
3 yeses.
3 yeses. Okay. Gabe Vincent. Yes, no, or maybe. If it's maybe, we table it until we go around the list a little bit.
Just to make sure, this is narrowing
For
it
a
down
9-man
to a
rotation.
9-man rotation.
To a 9-man rotation. Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning no. I'm leaning no, but we could save it though.
I'm going maybe on this one.
Yeah, go maybe.
All right. So we're tabling him. Okay. Tyler Hero.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yes.
But not necessarily. Well, and then we'll put a starting lineup together after. That'll be more interesting. Okay. But we'll have him. He's in the mix. Okay. PJ Tucker. Brady.
He's a yes for me.
I think so too. I think so too.
He's a maybe leaning towards no for me.
Oh.
So we're gonna table. We're gonna table him. We don't have 3 S's. Okay.
How soon they forget.
Goran Dragic.
Yeah.
He's a yes for me.
He's a yes.
Don't know if he's gonna be a starter yet. Remember, we're shaping a team here. So far our team is Butler, Dragic, and Hero. Kevin Love.
I think I lean no.
I think so too.
Who's your backup center, guys?
Could be talked into maybe, but that's why PJ is helpful too, because you could throw him in there as a backup 5.
Get the
so
AKH.
please.
I'm leaning yes. I'm leaning yes there, so we're gonna table him. Okay. Caleb Martin.
He's a maybe.
I'm going yes. If we're doing peak, I'm going yes.
I'm going yes. So I'm gonna say we have 2 yeses, but it's a push towards it. Bam Adebayo.
3 yeses.
Yes. Okay. So far we've got 4 yeses. Butler, Adebayo, Dragic, and Hero. We got to put the rest of this team together. Got to start eliminating somebody here. DJJ.
I'm sorry, Alex. He's off. He's off.
He's off. I mean, he didn't play in the playoffs that year, Alex. So I mean, we're not talking about what he's contributed to the Mavs. You know, he's all right. So we're gonna take him off the list. Terry Rozier.
He's a maybe, right? Is he a maybe?
You got to start thinking about how we're shaping this team because if
you're
you've
right.
got Tyler and Dragic on the team already, that's your 3-guard rotation, basically. God, that's tiny.
Well, every guard they've had is tiny, so every backup guard option you could go with is going to be.
All right, I'm gonna call that a maybe, but just let's think about it. Duncan Robinson. Yes. Automatic yes.
Why automatic?
Because he's the best shooter they've ever had. I mean, if we're talking peak, if we're talking peak, you're talking there were really like a couple of peaks, right? Like there was what he provided in the first half of this season, and he also was a starter on the team that got to the finals that first year, and was their major source of shooting other than Tyler.
Well, if you're building a rotation, he's their shooter, right? Like if you're gonna grab a shooter, you have to grab.
Okay, let's do this. I'll make it a little bit easier, but maybe harder at the same time. I'm gonna throw Strus in there now too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You taking one or you taking both? Which one are you taking?
You're taking one, and it's Duncan.
Oh man, this is really tough.
I mean, Max gives you more physicality. Jimmy liked playing with him better.
both of their peaks.
I know who Jimmy would pick.
Honestly, I think I'm leaning Duncan too between them two.
I'm putting Duncan on the team.
No shade towards
We'll cycle
Max.
back.
The other thing is
cycle back. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you were talking about how this rotation is going to look. Right now, your guard rotation is Goran, Tyler, Duncan. And we've already spoken about Terry. And we've got a couple more guards who are going to be in the mix here too.
We do. Okay. But Duncan is on the team. We've got 5. Okay. So we're now building a team with Butler, Adebayo, Dragic, Hero, and Duncan. Doesn't mean that's the starting lineup.
They basically got to pick one more guard.
Oh my God, is that going to get exploited defensively? But okay.
We're leaning offense finally.
Jay Crowder.
He's a maybe. I mean, it's a maybe with Tucker, right? Like he's the
I think so too.
It's the Crowder versus Tucker.
All right, so let's do that. Who
Crowder
are we
versus
taking?
Tucker?
Crowder versus Tucker versus Martin. Pick one for now.
Oh,
if I speak, Caleb had the best.
You may speak.
Caleb had the
he
best.
He did.
Peak.
Is he the best fit next to Bam in this group?
The best fit with this group, I think, is PJ. In terms of you have what we're talking about with the scoring and the like all of that stuff, like PJ doesn't have to do much. He's like he kind of does fit around them.
Yeah, I think PJ's the best fit. Caleb had the best peak.
Let's eliminate one.
I guess we're eliminating Jay. I think
so.
I mean, Jay had a really nice peak too. If you're just doing the Bucks series, right?
It was one series, right? It was one series. He wasn't even good at the finals, but yeah.
Well, and I know people are going to say that's the same thing for Caleb too, which I don't necessarily agree.
Caleb gives you something that the other. Caleb gives you something the other two don't give you, which is athleticism, which this roster sorely lacks.
Or what team suffers more, taking Crowder off the bubble team or taking PJ off that team that went to that playoff run?
Bubble team.
Probably the bubble team, but I'm still leaning PJ. I'm still leaning PJ. I'm gonna say that the one I eliminate of those 3 is Crowder. We can come back to figure out how to fill that spot, but I'm gonna take. Would you guys go along with that?
I think you could make the case that Crowder had the better peak between the two, just because he had that one series where he was on fire. But if you're just taking PJ's season as a whole, playoff run as a whole, I'll do that.
Let's make this more complicated. Let's throw Iguodala in the mix.
Oh man,
keeping 2 of the 4. Because to me, it's Iguodala or Martin.
No, that's
so we're just getting rid of the 2020 trade, essentially.
That's what it sounds like.
So Iguodala
it's pretty crazy. With how we value that trade, and like, wasn't that one of your top options on like the best moves of the Jimmy era?
Yeah. So, guess what was voted off by Ethan, which is now going back to my side with this episode. The summer of 22 when they acquired PJ and Caleb.
I didn't say this was easy. All right. By the way, can we eliminate Kendrick Nunn, or do we need his scoring? It feels like when they knew he wasn't going to pass, there wasn't much else he could do.
We only have one more guard we can pick. I'm not picking none.
Well, his peak was the first 12 games of that season. He was unbelievable. He was like breaking Dwayne's records.
No, he had a really good regular season.
Yeah, he was getting rookie of the months. Yeah.
Didn't he finish
we're gonna
second in rookie of the year voting or something?
Yeah, we're gonna take him off. Okay. I'll start with this: Nunn or Vincent. We're taking Nunn off, right?
Yeah.
We haven't debated Gabe fully, but okay. Olynyk is still out there too. So is a certain number 7. All right. So I've eliminated Iguodala. Can we keep Tucker and Martin on the board for now and eliminate Jay?
I think we have to.
Okay. I'm doing that too. Okay. So here's who we're left with. Here are our definites right now. Okay. Butler, Adebayo, Dragic, Hero, Duncan. We've got those 5. We've got 4 spots to fill. The players that are still on the board are Jaquez, Tucker, Martin. We haven't said yes to either of them yet, but we've eliminated their primary competition. Strus, Lowry, Vincent, Love, and Olynyk.
Oh man.
Now, PJ's on the team, so Brady's thought about, well, you could take Kevin Love off if you're comfortable with PJ as a backup center. God, this team is so small. I mean,
No, I didn't
you
say backup
could
center.
do that.
You could slide in there, you know, like
I mean, somebody's got to play the backup Bam minutes, so I'll throw this out there. Love or Olynyk? Which one are we eliminating? We're not necessarily putting one on, but we're eliminating one of the two.
I think I'm eliminating Love.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Olynyk.
I think look, we've had conversations over the last few years of wanting that guy back, that he fits a lot of the things that they do in terms of the spacing, in terms of a line. And if you're asking for a backup big that has a little bit more to him offensively, I mean, I guess we're talking peak. So that 2020 year, I think I take that over kind of the later years of Love.
I think I'm with you. I think Kelly can just do a little bit more. Now I will say, Kevin Love, I think, has just been a decently solid interior defender, and I didn't know if that was going to be the case when they acquired him. Like, I mean, again, he has his limitations, right? Like he both series versus the Celtics, he ended up being somebody that Spo went to less and less. So, but I think Love offers a little bit more rebounding wise and a little bit more on the inside on defense, just because he can draw charges and stuff. But you know what? Kelly was doing that too. I just think Love was probably the better rebounder. You know, he's got the outlet passing stuff, but I think Olynyk overall was doing more and could handle more.
I would take Kelly. I would eliminate Kevin, but I'll say this: you may need Kelly to make this team based on the lack of size, even though he's not a great rebounder. Okay, so Olynyk is still on the board. Kyle Lowry or Gabe Vincent? Who are we taking off?
Well, it's really Kyle versus Gabe versus Terry, isn't it? Because we're picking one guard.
Okay. Well, that's fair. We've kept Duncan, we've kept Dragic, we've kept Hero. I think we have to think of terms of framing here. Are we planning on starting Dragic with Hero? That never worked. They tried that. That never worked.
I mean,
who's your sixth man? Who's your sixth? Let's start here. Who's your sixth man then? Are you having the conversation with Tyler, or are you letting Goran do it because he did it before the bubble started?
I want Goran to start personally.
I think we have that conversation with Tyler. I think we come to him and say, UD was in our ear and saying that Duncan, he fits at that 2-guard spot. And I think that's the way we go with it. But
peak Tyler Hero was sixth man Tyler Hero, right?
I mean, I still think he's playing like he's in his peak right now, but
right. But in terms of role on this team,
yeah.
Okay, so then,
are we starting Goran and Duncan?
That's what I'm asking. Because if you're starting Goran and Duncan and you're bringing Tyler off the bench, then I'm keeping Gabe Vincent.
Oh,
I'm taking Terry.
This is really tough. Oh man,
because you're gonna take the other guy, and that's so we're gonna be stimulated here. Right?
That's what I should do.
We need a defender in that backcourt, don't we? Like, don't we need one? Like somebody.
His name is Kyle Lowry.
You use your wings and bigs to guard the guards, not the guards. So let's take their method into account here.
2022, whenever that first year was, Kyle Lowry, I guess, has a spot in here if we're talking about defense and playing up.
8 point from the bench.
Oh my God, Ethan, I'm not gonna let you erase what Kyle did here. All right, I'm not his biggest fan or anything, but that first year was very good.
If we're going purely,
think about that for a second. They were the number one, the Miami Heat. Now looking back on it 2 years later.
Are you starting him? Are you starting that? Okay. So I'll ask, are you starting that Kyle Lowry over 2020 Goran Dragic?
No.
Bye, Kyle. We need a defender on the bench.
Kyle is a defender, man. Kyle, that's the one thing that even towards the end, he was still pretty good at. Like, I'm not saying point of attack, but like
in the post.
I mean, look, he was a great help defender, and help defense is a huge part of the NBA now. Like, I'm not saying he was.
If we're going on,
but he was a defender.
All right, if we're going on pure talent, it's Terry, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why it's really
Okay,
tough.
but
I
we're
don't even
saying,
I don't even feel strongly about any of these like options here.
but we have a shot creator in Goron, okay, who's done it at a higher level than anybody has in the Jimmy era for that period of time.
To be
So
fair,
Terry
we also
becomes
like romanticized that Goron season because the bubble was so good, but he had a nice regular season, but it wasn't like amazing, right? And I know he was coming off the bench, but I
don't
don't know.
slander the dragon on this show. The dragon on this show.
I'm trying to be fair here.
Goron's starting. I am being fair. Okay.
I said Goron
So
starting
we
too.
need. Okay. Who is your start? Are we all starting Duncan at the 2?
I think so.
I mean, we took
That's
Duncan with a
why
max,
I took
so.
that's why I took the liberty of bringing in PJ Tucker to this team, because if you're starting Goran and Duncan, you need PJ as the tweener.
So I'm ready to put PJ Tucker on the team. Can we do that?
I've been here.
I mean, we have to at this point. We don't run out of guys to put there. I'm ready to put PJ Tucker on as the
we put
6th.
Caleb on the team too.
Okay, I'm ready to do that also. So now we're at 7. We're at Butler, Adebayo. Oh, here's how we seem to have our starters lined up: Adebayo, Tucker, Butler, Duncan, and Dragic. That front line is going to try to make up for the back line for point of attack defense. Okay, and we've got Tyler as the 6th man and Caleb as your kind of Swiss Army knife off the bench. So we got 2 spots left. Okay, here again are your options: Jaquez, Rozier, Strus, Lowry, Vincent, and Olynyk.
I'm sorry, Crowder should be in. When you keep naming Hawkins, and like he just had a really good rookie year and all, but like Crowder should be in Hawkins.
We take him off
spot where we're having that conversation.
Well, okay. Well, I could put Crowder back in the mix. He's still not going to make one of the final 9, but okay. I'm all right with it. I mean, but here, give me your 2. We have the 7 now. Again, I just gave you your bench. You're filling out your bench now with Tucker. Excuse me, not Tucker. With Martin and Hero are coming off the bench. You got 2 more spots.
Jovic would actually have a case here if I didn't stupidly pick Derek over him.
Okay, well that's true, but you did, so we're done with that. Okay,
I think we have to do KO, right? Like we have at this point we need a backup big. We have to do Olynyk. Is that where we are?
I'm going with Gabe and Kelly.
Isn't it 3 guys though? Oh no, we're doing 9. That's right.
No,
sorry.
We got 9. I'm going with Gabe and Kelly.
Oh man.
I mean, Max is a better player than Gabe. He might be a better player than Kelly, but I don't really see. I mean, he'd have to play like small ball 4 or 5 off the bench.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay with what I said before. I'm gonna go Terry and Olynyk, and here's my reasoning. I understand the defensive part, but we're gonna stagger first of all. That's number one. That I'm gonna make that decision. But like Goron in that year was still a guy that was operating off screens. Tyler, a guy that operates off screens. Duncan's a guy that operates off screens. Terry's the one guy that you could still, like we had the discussion this year, that can get a bucket, just an ISO bucket. Just go absolutely just get, and that's what you want in a bench scorer. So I don't know. I'm still leaning Terry.
But you have Tyler though. And now you're talking about you're going to stagger so much that we've done all these episodes. Does Tyler and Terry work? And now you're putting them on the bench together.
Well, now they have Goron in their ear. He's showing them how to.
We've seen Hero and Vincent work together, and like
Terry and Tyler off the bench, both of them is a hell of a combo to bring though. Like that's a punch right there.
It is for the other team too. I'm just wondering like if that's going to work. All right, so we'll debate these 2 then. I'm saying Olynyk. I think you need Olynyk because I want to sub him in so he can play some with Bam. I always like the way they look. That's what we talked about with Jovic. Their numbers together were always good. So I'm saying Olynyk, and then I'm taking the point of attack defender off the bench in Gabe, and you've got a certain toughness with this group. I would honestly, my next guy would be Strus, but I don't see a place for him. And you better hope Gabe shoots the ball well, but at least you'll have another spot up shooter in there if you don't have Max in there. So I'm going to say Olynyk and Vincent. You're saying Brady is saying I'm sorry, Rozier, Olynyk and Rozier. So you give me your 2, Alex.
I'm going with Olynyk, and I'm really like agonizing over picking from these 3 guards because like I don't feel super strongly about anyone. I don't
Right.
like. I think that the Gabe is absolutely in this conversation, but it's like how the defense can only do so much if you're going to be playing him alongside another like questionable defensive guard as well. I think Lowry absolutely has a case here for his peak, and is somebody who was a two-way player, a leader for them. And I agree with everything Brady was saying. Like, you know, all we've talked about, I mean, not all, but a lot of what we talked about throughout this build is like, you know, they need more individual shot creation, a guy who can do it himself. And I think, you know, Terry absolutely does that. So I'm really struggling with this one, man. Should I just go Kyle for the show just to like balance you guys
No.
out? Let's just do it. Let's do
you
it, man. Just to piss you off,
so you
Kyle.
can go you can go Kyle for the show. We will. Here's what we're going to do with it. You've just created more content. What we're going to do is we will poll this. Okay.
There we go.
So for people who are listening and also subscribing to the Discord, this is our 8-man roster. This cannot be changed. None of these people can be taken off.
Is it
Okay.
9?
No, we've got 8. We've got 3 guys vying for 1 spot as the 9th.
Oh yeah, okay. My
So and this is our starting lineup. You can't change the starting lineup either. This is what we're going to battle with. Okay. Adebayo, Tucker, Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Goran Dragic. Our core bench is Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, and Kelly Olynyk. I kind of like that bench, actually. And then your 9th man, and we're going to pull this, is either Gabe Vincent, Terry Rozier, or Kyle Lowry. I don't want Max Strus write-ins. I don't want Jaime Jaquez write-ins. I don't want they were close, but they're not in this list, okay? Jovic, Highsmith, Zeller, Precious.
Don't be writing in Kendrick Nunn.
Do not be writing in Kendrick Nunn.
Because
okay?
Ethan eliminated
write in
him
Omer
immediately.
Right. You can write it Omer. All right, so that's our list. Is that a championship team, by the way?
I think so.
Would
If we're
that
talking about
team
everybody at their peaks, I think so.
Yeah, it is. Kyle's there for pointing. UD's on the bench growling. All right. Thanks to everybody for following. We'll actually discuss this on the next episode as we go forward here and with which one you picked. So that's your 3 choices to be the 9th man on this team. They'll get more than 9th man minutes. Lowry, Rozier, Vincent. Who fits this team the best? Thanks to our sponsors, Better Edge. Use the code 5RSN. Prize Picks, use the code 5FIVE. We don't know if this episode's ever getting up because Brady's producing it, but if he does, he gets a special award. And you know what? In that case, we'll probably pick Rozier just to make him happy. Also, check out c-armandstaffing.com. I would choose Rozier too, but someone's got a guard here. All right. Have a good day, everybody.